Welcome back everyone to the video, and today is kind of just a spontaneous video because we did just get news from Adam Schefter that McCarthy has a torn meniscus and it required a full repair, so he'll miss the entire first season of his career, which just absolutely sucks. I've done videos in the past on McCarthy and the Vikings, and I actually thought that he would be a pretty good scheme fit for Minnesota, and he would be a good quarterback at least at some point this season. And he kind of showed some flashes in preseason. I had kind of thought myself that he'd get in for the regular season by like week 6 or 7 at the most. And now this happens. Really disappointing. Apparently in that preseason game where he played quite well, I guess he just kind of dealt with some soreness afterward over the weekend. They got MRI. And then, of course, it was torn. So there was a chance at one point that it was just going to be 4 to 6 weeks, but it required a full repair, which is more 4 to 6 months. So absolutely brutal and really unfortunate. The Vikings starter now is Sam Darnold for the foreseeable future. It was between him and McCarthy for that QB1 battle. And now Darnold has quite the lead over whoever else is there, other than, I guess, Jaron Hall might be next, somewhere along there. So yeah, absolutely sucks, but I think this is probably, at least what they're saying is, this is the best option for him to have a long and successful career, because the other option would have been a quick fix but may have caused more complications down the road. He's young. This surgery that they did should help him be able to play for much longer and at a hopefully high level. So where do the Vikings actually go from here? Right now, Sam Darnold is their starter. With McCarthy, there's a lot of things that I think people liked because of him being able to go into a pro-style offense after already playing one in college. He had made some great tight window throws in college, and they were hoping to translate that to the NFL. And in that preseason game, he threw an interception, and then after that, it looked like he kind of understood what he can and can't get away with at the next level. And after that, he played, I don't say flawless, but he did a great job of reading the field, stepping up in the pocket, making throws downfield, finding the open guy. He did a really, really good job. So now that's out the window, unfortunately. What does Sam Darnold bring to the table? Sam Darnold is, I'm not sure a good word to use for him, but he is a veteran quarterback is what I will choose to use for Sam Darnold. He is not a terrible rusher. He is pretty sneaky athletic. As a Panthers fan, I had to watch an entire season of him in Carolina with Matt Rule, which was terrible. I'm not sure how much of that was actually on Darnold. And one thing about Darnold, too, though, that I would like to just point out, that he was on the Jets and in Carolina and then a backup in the 49ers. He's never really had these kind of weapons. So as of right now, yeah, this absolutely sucks for Vikings fans and just for football fans in general. I mean, it just sucks to see someone go down this early in preseason and miss the entire season. But Darnold now being in there and being your starter, he really hasn't had weapons this good in his career, because he's in Carolina. He has DJ Moore, but that was fairly early on in his career where he wasn't like to where he is now. He was good then, but not at the level he is now. He did have Christian McCaffrey, but other than that, it was a bit of a talent drop-off. You had like Robbie Anderson on that team, or whatever his name is now, Robbie Chosen or something, I think. You had like Curtis Samuel on that team, so it wasn't guys like Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, Aaron Jones, Jalen Naylor, Brandon Powell. There's a lot of really, really good weapons on this Vikings team. So maybe you can salvage this season. I don't want to just say, oh, season's over, McCarthy's hurt, it's all over, because at the end of the day, we haven't seen him in an actual, regular season game yet. So I don't want to just throw everything out the window, because you're in a very tough division. The Vikings have a good team on paper, and I don't want to count Sam Darnold out. So I think what would be encouraging to see for Vikings fans is Darnold be able to read the field better. That has always been something that, to me, has just been a huge issue of his, that he just makes some very just mind-boggling throws where it's like double coverage. He throws it anyway, or he throws it like right at a linebacker to where it's like, did you not think he was gonna jump that, or what? Did you think it was like a different route? What what were you thinking? So I think that being cleaned up can be massive for Darnold and just the Vikings as a whole. So for Darnold, I do expect some of that to be cleaned up, because again, while he did make a lot of bad throws in the past, he really hasn't had a system this good before, in my opinion, or an offense this good before either. But at the end of the day, I know it's right now very deflating to Vikings fans, and it is, just incredibly unfortunate. I would like to say, though, that at the end of the day, sometimes sitting out for a long time can honestly benefit a quarterback. despite the injury and the rehab and all, being able to just sit and watch and learn and just watch the offense, see it on paper, study it, all that kind of stuff, it really does make a difference. And we've seen that with quarterbacks, while not hurt, sitting out, like Mahomes in his first year and Jordan Love for a couple seasons. It's turned out very, very good for them. And, again, they weren't rehabbing from an injury, but still, I think in the same kind of wavelength that McCarthy being able to be out, not be forced into a huge role his first year, and just be able to kind of watch the game, I think it's possible for him to still have a great season next year, and maybe even a better season than what he would have had this year. Because even Joe Burrow, his rookie year, he goes down with a terrible ACL injury, comes back the next year, and they go to the Super Bowl. I'm not going to say that's the Vikings, but we've seen quarterbacks get hurt early on, miss an entire season, and come back at the top of their game, even within their first couple seasons. So McCarthy, in that sense, is not on his own. He's not like a anomaly. We've seen it happen before, and we've seen guys be successful after it. So now it just sucks because you got to wait. You have to wait a whole year to see him actually play, not preseason, basically. But I do think that there's enough history there to where you can be confident in him coming back even in his first full season next year and seeing what he can really do. I think it's always possible he can benefit from sitting out his first year, even if it is with an injury. And as for the Vikings fans having to now watch this team, just try and give Darnold a chance. Give him a few weeks because I do think he can be better than what he's shown in the past. This is a phenomenal offense. I think the coaching is spectacular. I think it was built with a clear vision in mind on paper. And unfortunately, the guy you wanted is not going to be running it this year. But Darnold really is not as bad as a lot of people make him seem. Like I said, he's very underrated as a rusher. He is sneaky athletic. And if he can just get the just random throws cleaned up, I think he can actually have a pretty solid season for the Vikings. And honestly, if you can just maybe make the playoffs, get bounced first round, something like that, to where you're confident in the rest of the roster, and then you plug McCarthy in next year, I think that's also a pretty good way of looking at it. Because, you have the defense to evaluate still this year, and then you'll have the draft to address before, McCarthy comes back. So basically another full offseason before you get to see him play, which sucks, but I think it'll be worth the wait. I think he'll be good in the NFL. And if you guys do as well, let me know down below. Sucks to see, but hopefully it'll all be for the best down the road for his long-term health. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe for more, well, hopefully not injury videos like this, but for player rankings, team rankings, just random NFL team videos of whatever's going on over the course of the season, draft content whenever that season's around. And yeah, on the road to 1,000 subscribers, closing in on 700. Thank you guys for all the support there. I do really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.